Hi, everybody. Happy Monday. Welcome to day 22 of this gratitude practice. I can't believe it's been 22 days. I feel like when I was starting this practice that it would take a long time to finish this. And of course, it was only going to be the 4 weeks that it takes. But the fact that we are on day 22 and whatever week of this quarantine, I'm sure it depends on where you are. Some of you are just starting quarantine, I'm sure. Some of you have been in it like me for a while. It still feels like it's a new experience. I feel like I've settled into a new way of being, but there's still this feeling of something different, of something new. And I think it's because there's a sense of the unexpected on the other side. We're so used to knowing what's next. And I think that a lot of that knowing what's next is something that we create for ourselves. It's not necessarily a true statement because we never know what's next. Anything can happen. We've seen this in our lives so much. Things happen and life changes, and what we knew is no longer there. And so we're in such a situation, and I think that we live this day to day now with this kind of feeling of something unexpected. Will this all just go away? Will something happen? Will whatever possibilities are out there could manifest? And it's that sense of the unknown that creates this sense of newness in us, this new feeling, this fact of, there's a little bit of a routine when we are developing for ourselves, but the sense of what's around the corner, what's next. I think a lot of that comes because we live our lives according to milestones. We try to move from one thing to next, whether it's getting that new job, getting a promotion, getting married, having that kid, getting a house, going on vacation, finishing school. List goes on and on. We often live our life by milestones, and we forget to live day by day. And I think that this quarantine period is giving us an opportunity to live day by day and learning to relish each day, learning to slow down and take a breath. Let's take a breath right now. Do you feel that shift from just a single breath? Taking in that breath of life, holding it, and then releasing it. It can change your nervous system. I know that there's a lot of people right now who are really busy and don't have an opportunity to slow down. There are healthcare workers and grocery store workers and personnel across the US and across the world that are keeping this whole planet functioning for us. We have electricity, we have running water, we have heat in our house. We have so much to be grateful for. People who are keeping this going while we have the privilege of isolating ourselves. And then there are the people who have taken their work home and are working around the clock. There's a lot going on, but we all have to remember that there is an important point in all of this, that we must slow down a little bit. It's so easy to get lost in the busyness of life. And there's so much available to us right now. Now with this opportunity that has been presented to us, we're being offered more and more by a wide variety of talented people. And it's so easy to just get lost in all of that. And there's no problem with it because there's so much for us to explore and learn about and listen to and learn from. But there's also that important reminder that we need to slow down a little bit, that we need to reflect, that we need to breathe. We need to reset our nervous system because we were so busy before and we're going to be so busy afterwards. Restaurants are going to open. The airport's going to be back in full swing. There's going to be movie theaters that we can go to. We can hang out with our friends. There's so much for us to do, and we will be busy again. So if we don't take the rest now, when are we going to take it? At what point in our lives are we going to grant ourselves the ability to breathe, to be, and to reset our nervous system on a regular basis? This is an important time to start cultivating these habits, because once we go back into a quote unquote normal way of being, whatever that will be, because it will not be what it was before, we will need to make sure that we have this peace in place in us, this gratitude in place, so that we can ride through transitions of life without a problem. We don't want to go back into the world and just burn out. So let's start really using this time to cultivate this sense of peace and this gratitude within us. One of the things that I noticed this morning was the way that nature operates with the weather. So it's been raining here in Southern California, which has been a blessing. It's cleaning the air. It's so beautiful. And it's not often that it rains here. And for some reason during this quarantine, we've had a lot of days of rain, and it's been quite beautiful. But finally today, I noticed that the birds weren't out this morning, of course, because it was raining hard. They've been louder than ever, and it was quiet. We just had the sound of the rain, which was beautiful in and of itself. But then this afternoon, the birds were so loud. They were going about their morning activities in the afternoon. They were doing what needed to be done. They live their life by the cycle of nature. They don't force things just because they have to do things. They allow nature to help them and guide them through whatever it is they need to do. They were resting this morning. They were resting in our roof. That's where they're nesting. And they went about their activities when the time let up. I can tell you that I was slower today. I was feeling more tired. I'm sure the rain had something to do with it. We all have these patterns, these instincts with nature. And we have been teaching ourselves to ignore them in order to be productive, in order to be busy, in order to just keep doing things. And this is our opportunity to really reconnect with nature. Now, I know everybody's life does not permit such a thing, but for those of us that have an opportunity to do so, if we don't do it, who will? There are many ways to live life. And there's many ways to cultivate some of these aspects in our life, even if we live a busy life. Even if you're busy, what about on your days off? What about giving yourself that time? It's hard. There's so much to be done. But we can find new ways of working together so that we can build a new way of living, and we can help one another, and we don't feel so alone having to do so much on our own. There are other ways, and we can start to dream about these other ways if we cultivate some silence, some peace, some stillness during this time. So I encourage you to do so. Another thing that can happen with the stillness and the silence is leading into today's gratitude practice. We can dream. We can dream not only of the world that we want, but we can dream of the life that we want for ourselves. What are your big dreams? What is it that you want to do? Is there a bucket list that you have of things that are like, the way out there? I want to do this in my life at some point. What is it? Maybe it's something that you want to achieve sooner. Maybe you want to be able to give all your employees a good bonus during the holidays. Maybe you want to take a vacation somewhere. Maybe you want to inspire lots of people. Whatever it is, there are big dreams that we all have. And this is a great time to start making a list of those dreams. Today's practice is to make a list of those dreams, 10 things that you want to accomplish in your life, no matter how big or how small. But the bigger they are, the more that you are allowing for yourself to know that the impossible is possible. And gratitude will help you get there. We use gratitude not only to be grateful for the things that we have now, not only to be grateful for our past, but to be grateful that we have already manifested that which we want, that which we desire. When we are grateful now, then we are not leaving an option for the universe. We're telling the universe, we know that this is ours. We know that vacation is ours. We know that writing everybody a bonus check at the holidays is something that we can do. We are being grateful now and allowing the universe to rearrange itself to be able to make that happen. Now, one of the specific things to think about with this is to be specific with the intentions and the thoughts around what you want so that you can feel into it. So you can feel that gratitude. Feel that gratitude when you think about everybody receiving that check, about taking that vacation, about getting that job, about having that child, about being able to plant 100 trees, whatever it is. Feel that gratitude in your heart of how it happened. But then allow the universe to manifest it and however it will manifest. There are an infinite number of possibilities that can occur, and we are limited in our thinking based on our experience and our knowledge. And we don't want to be attached to the outcome because things can happen in a more magical way than we can ever imagine. I'll tell you one of my bucket list or one of my desires that I had. I really wanted to go to this festival that was in Costa Rica. And I wanted to be able to go and to work. And it was something that I couldn't figure out how to make it happen, partially because it would require me taking a couple weeks off. And I had already taken a couple weeks off, for work, and also because I have a daughter, which is difficult to, leave. It's difficult to leave her behind as it is. It's also difficult for my husband when I leave her behind and he still has his work to do. So I didn't feel like it would be right to ask for more time for myself so that I could go have fun and play and be of service, but, do my own thing. On top of that, I didn't have the money to be able to just freely spend like that. I could spend my money like that, but I was choosing not to. I was choosing to be more responsible with the money that I had. And I did not want to use it to pay for this trip or for a ticket or any of these things. So I would envision me going to this festival. The festival was also called Envision. And I was dreaming about it. And I had opportunities that would come my way, work exchange opportunities that were wonderful, but they would require me to spend a little more, and that was more than I could choose to spend. And so I turned them down, but I still wanted to go. I still really wanted to go, and I just was thanking the universe for the ability to go. Then around Thanksgiving, a friend of ours who works for that festival had talked to my husband and said, "Hey, I have an opening. I need somebody to work on my team. Would you like to go?" And he was asking my husband. And my husband said, "No, but my wife would probably like to go." And he came to get me. And when the position was explained, it was an opportunity to be at that festival for 2 weeks, and I would get some money for it. And that would cover my expenses that I was worried about before with the other opportunities that arose. And my husband said, "Go ahead, do it. No problem. I will take our daughter for 2 weeks. That is not a problem." And I was able to have the most magical experience at this festival. I didn't know how it was going to happen. I didn't know how I could make this happen in my life, how I could ask for this time, how I could ask for money, how could I have any of these things? And they were gifted to me. They were gifted to me by amazing people and this amazing universe. And all I did was have a lot of gratitude and feel into it, feel into that experience, feel into being grateful that I could go. I could feel it. I could feel grateful that I could go. And I also allowed it to manifest in its way. I didn't try to force it. I told the universe that I was grateful the opportunity to go, and I left it there. And I was amazed at what manifested in my life. I can tell you that the universe has more goodness than you even know possible. It can make your wildest dreams come true, and it can do it in a way that's probably better than what you can imagine. So create a list of your desires and feel into them, be grateful for them, and then allow the universe to deliver them to you in the way that it will. I wish you a wonderful day, and I will talk to you tomorrow.